Crowe for last because there's so much history between me and Crowe. Before I had any of these acoustic guitars, before I had any of the other electrics, I had Crowe. And Crowe is a Fender Telecaster. Nothing crazy. Made in Mexico, which is, as far as the hierarchy of Fender goes, made in Mexico is about a step or so above what's called Squier. Squier is like Fender's low budget entry instrument brand. And there are some Squiers that sound okay, but it's not widely known as a great brand. You can get a lot of mileage out of a Squier, but they're not like the be-all end-all of Fender. So for a lot of people, a made in Mexico Fender is like their first step into buying like a real Fender. And most of these retail for $500-$600, just in that range. And my grandfather, who before I was an hour old, he had a guitar pick like in my hand. He knew that it was going to be my thing. And he was garage sailing one day, and he came across a garage sale, a couple instruments on sale, and he saw this Telecaster, and it was on sale for $50. So he walks over and he's like, "What's wrong with this guitar? Why is it only $50?" And the guy's like, "Well, it doesn't sound like the guys on TV. I'm not going to play it. I'm not going to get into it. So just take it. If you want it, $50, take it." So he grabbed it immediately, and he had his own Telecaster, and he gave me this one. And she's been with me ever since. I mean, you can see on the fretboard, you can see the years, that are in this guitar. There's chips on her, there's marks and dings all over the place, but it's just years of knowing someone and getting to know all their ins and outs. And Fender is known for making really clear guitars, and the Telecaster especially has a reputation for being able to do almost anything. It just is such a versatile guitar. One of the first electric guitar models, Fender Telecaster. And that being my first guitar that was really mine, like all my possibilities were open. Everything was open to me. If I wanted to play rock, I could do it. If I wanted to play blues, I could do it. Jazz or metal, like it was all there with that guitar. And that's what I learned on. That's where I started to cultivate my identity as a musician, was through Crowe. So all of my riff ideas, my song ideas, like my melodies, chords, all of that comes out of Crowe. And when I was going through, I think arguably the worst season of my life as of yet, Crowe was there. And when I couldn't talk to people, or when I couldn't conceptualize what I wanted to say, I could play, and Crowe was there. And to this day, no guitar feels as natural in my hand than Crowe does. And it's not that I love them any less. It's just nothing feels like more of an extension of myself than Crowe. She fits right there, and you can't replicate that. Someone could take a guitar, make all the exact same measurements, and give it to me, and I could tell you the difference. And I've had people that have, had made in Mexico Telecasters that they've let me try, and they don't sound the same. They don't feel the same. There's just a bond there that you can't copy, that I wouldn't be able to copy if I tried. And I want to be buried with that guitar. I don't know what I would do with all the others. I'd probably, send them to places where I think they'd be used, but Crowe's got to stay with me. She has to, because we've been together for what feels like forever. You can't split that up. So when it came to the time of writing a song for Crowe, oh God, what do you do? What kind of craziness could you come up with? And for a long time, I didn't write anything. I was almost paralyzed by the possibilities of all of it, just the years and years and years that you put into something like that. But oddly enough, it wasn't a guitar part that started Crowe's song. It was a piano bit that I kind of came up with, and it's nothing crazy. It's just working through chords, but the chords themselves kind of propelled the idea of it. Nothing out of the world, So then I took those piano bits and I held down the pedal that kind of, it lessens the dampeners, so it just lets the notes continue to hang. So those piano notes all of a sudden turned into this really big, like, and it just went. And that progression led to these really simple notes. Again, like nothing crazy, but it fit. It just fit, you know, like, and I think that's what really stole my heart about it, was that Crowe doesn't have to be insanely flashy. Like, out of all my guitars, she doesn't have like sparkles on her. She's not a big guitar. She's not overly crazy looking, but she's perfect how she is, you know? And the song being at the end of the EP, usually you want to have your last song be like some big statement of something, but oddly enough, the fact that this song is more subdued than all the others, and there's no synths here, there's just the guitar, piano, and a string quartet, like, that's all it needs. That's the thing. That's what does it. And as I was writing it, just this idea of a quiet ending song to this synth heavy, rocky, ambient, like groovy EP, it on paper probably is not the best idea, but it's the best idea in terms of feeling, because when you get to the end, all of a sudden you're there with me and with Crowe. And while I can do anything with Crowe, I find that she does these things the best. I've had a ton of nights where I just sit up and I'm just playing, and Crowe's there and we just play. And sometimes it doesn't come into anything, and sometimes it ends up being songs. But just the fact that I have that space with her, I wanted to try to capture that and give that to the audience and let it be a place for them. And when I think about it, I didn't intend for that to be the point that I wanted to get across with Crowe, but I think it's a stronger point that I'm still trying to internalize, is this idea of you don't have to be everything to be enough. You know, you can be enough just how you are. And if you want to get better, that's great, you know, but wherever you're at, you got to come to a point of recognizing like you're enough, you know, and if you want to grow, cool. But you're worthy of love and appreciation. You're worthy of celebration, just being how you are. And I don't think that a lot of people have enough time for that nowadays. I certainly am struggling with it. Not that I don't love myself, but I find that there are times where I am always on my own case. You know, you got to be doing something. You have to be improving. You have to be working on your craft. Otherwise, you're never going to go anywhere with it. And Crowe is always there to kind of remind me that you can just sit and play guitar for an evening and not have it have to be a song. And that's okay. You know, if you want to take an hour and just watch stupid stuff on YouTube, or if you want to just play a video game that you haven't got to play, that's okay too. You know, you can't always be on yourself like that. Otherwise, you're going to go crazy. And for a long time, I was on myself. Like after my car accident, I was just on myself all the time. Grow, improve, go to the gym, work out your mind, work out your body, do all these things, get better at your craft. And all of a sudden, when I was writing this song, I had to stop for a minute and just let everything be quiet. Like, this song can't be loud. This song can't be in your face. You can't change tempo here. This song is at 100 beats per minute, which is a little bit slower than what's called your running pace. And it doesn't ever get any faster. You stay right at 100 beats per minute the whole time. And all the other songs have tempo changes. You know, you go faster or you go slower, and this one just stays the whole time. You know, so you can only just sit there and be in the moment. And I think this EP and all the songs that are on it are the most me that I've written to date. And being able to play them and have other people hear them is an insanely freeing process. because I know that I like the songs. I know that they're good songs. And what everyone else gets from them is going to be on them. And I no longer tie myself to that result. They can have that. That's theirs. And if they like it, awesome. That makes me happy. If they don't like it, fantastic. I've got other songs. Listen to those ones. And it's a really beautiful spot to be in, and I wouldn't have got there if not for Crowe. If not for that moment. None of this would have happened without Crowe. So when I pick up Crowe and I go to play something, it's like coming home. And that feeling you get when you've been out all day and you're just tired and you just go someplace where you're comfortable. Crowe is where I'm comfortable. And Crowe knows the best sides of me because she was there when they were being made and really being solidified. So this song being the last song, it's, I think, got the most meaning out of all of them. And yet it doesn't have to yell to get your attention. It's just there. And when you're ready for it, I think it speaks to you. Because it taught me a lot just in the act of writing it and listening to it and letting other people listen to it. And I think it's going to be a song that even as I go forward in my career, it's going to be a song that I'll come back to and I'll have with me, which is, I think, a really cool feeling.